Hi guys, it's Dan here from DJI Drones. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Today I want to talk to you about the DJI Mavic Air 2 Boomerang quick shot mode. Wow, that's a mouthful. Anyways, we're gonna find out first where to access the quick shot modes and where the boomerang mode is. Then we will take a look at the two parameters that there are. Heads up, you can go left and you can go right. That's all you can do. And then we're gonna take it into an editing program. I'm gonna be using Final Cut Pro. You can use whatever you like to make it a little bit more spicy and a little bit more attractive to watch, so that you can wow your friends with your epic flying skills. And lastly, we'll take a few versions of the boomerang shots that I'm recording here while I'm testing, so that you can decide for yourself what looks the best and how you want to configure the boomerang shot the next time you're out flying. Alright guys, so before we get this bird up in the air, I'd like you to consider subscribing to the channel. There's going to be drone related stuff on the channel every single week. So if that's the stuff that you're into, click the little red button down below and click the little bell icon so that you don't miss the next video. Alright, let's take a look at the boomerang mode. Okay, so we have our drone up in the air and we can see ourselves. And so what we need to do to access our quick shot mode is click the little button on top of our shutter button, which opens up all of our shooting options. And the third one down, as you can see, is the quick shot mode. Now, from there, we'll just select boomerang. And as I mentioned earlier, we have two options. We can go clockwise and we can go counterclockwise. So what is the boomerang? It basically flies an oval around you. I suppose you could say an oval. It basically flies like a boomerang, like it goes away from you in a curve, in an oval kind of fashion, and then it comes back to you like rather close. Just draw a rectangle around yourself or click the little green plus that is already showing up on yourself. And if it doesn't, then you may be too far away from yourself, so you want to bring the drone a little bit closer. And if you can't access the quick shot modes altogether, it may be because your drone is not more than 6 feet above the ground. So if your drone is lower than 6 feet above the ground, then you won't be able to access any of the quick shot modes altogether. Cool. So once we have that, we click start on our screen and there it goes doing its boomerang thing. So now that we have that, let's take it into Final Cut or whatever editing software you want to use and see what we can do with it to spice it up just a little bit. Okay, so here we are in Final Cut Pro 10. I've got a couple of clips on my timeline, so let's see how we can make these a little bit more interesting. First thing I want to point out that the clips slightly vary in length depending on your initial radius when you shoot the boomerang mode. So you can see this clip here is 40 seconds long and this one is 53 seconds long. You can tell just by looking at the little number here when you select the clip. So what I like to do with most of the quick shots is to cut off the first couple of seconds, just because if you play this back you can see that in the beginning there's not that much exciting motion happening. So like the first 4 or 5 seconds I usually cut off. I'm going to press B on my keyboard and just backspace to delete. Next we want to go in a further couple of seconds, maybe 2.5 seconds, and press Shift B on our keyboard. So Shift B is going to be our friend here because that brings up the blade speed tool in Final Cut. You can also go up here and click blade speed, but learning your keyboard shortcuts is big help and makes the whole process a lot easier. So you want to find out how long your clip is. This one is now 35 seconds long. So you basically want to find the middle of the clip. So you can see here it basically hovers back and forth. So you want to go right before the middle, press Shift B, let it swivel around, press Shift B again, and then go all the way to the end. And so 35, maybe 2 seconds back, 33, something like that, and press Shift B. All you want to do is speed up the middle by clicking the little arrow here by maybe 4000 and do that one more time. So the next clip is a little test if it works while walking, and while the drone does the boomerang shot, it doesn't really keep the subject in the middle of the frame. So at some point it just loses the subject and keeps the boomerang motion. In other words, it doesn't adjust its flight path based on the moving subject, but that's okay. It's still a pretty cool shot. So again,
We want to cut off the first couple of seconds. I'm gonna press B on my keyboard, get rid of this. Maybe first few seconds here, press Shift B, and then find where the middle is. Again, somewhere here, Shift B again, 1, 2 seconds, Shift B, all the way to the end, and Shift B. And again, in here, maybe we can do 5000 because this clip is a little bit longer. You want to zoom in a little bit by pressing Command plus. And you can play with these handles here and make the whole effect a little bit smoother if you like. And if you play this back, that kind of looks cool. Okay, and lastly, we want to add some swoosh effects where the speed ramps are happening. It just gives it a more realistic or cinematic feel. So I've got a little library here set up already. I'm just gonna press I on my keyboard and O to set an in and out point, and then we're just gonna drag it over here. You want to make sure that the swoosh is basically happening where most of the motion is, but rather towards the end of it. It just sounds the best. And once you have it, maybe lower the volume a little bit. Copy, paste, do that 1, 2, and 3, 4 times. And to give it an even better look, you want to put some cinematic bars on top. This is just a very basic PNG file, and the link to it is in the description down below. You can also crop your clips, but I prefer to just use a PNG file because it's a lot easier for a whole timeline full of clips. And then you just drag it across your clips. And lastly, we add some background music and see what we get.
Guys, that is pretty much it for the Boomerang mode. I know, quick and easy and actually pretty cool. So I hope you learned something today. If you found this useful, then give it a thumbs up. That's highly appreciated. It really helps out with all this YouTube kind of stuff. And again, if you wanted to consider subscribing to the channel, there's more stuff every single week. So don't miss out, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in next week's episode. Until then, have a good one and vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen.